What's good, YouTube? It's Rage Real. So in today's video, I want to show you guys what I believe is one of the best empty plays inside of Madden 22. So if you enjoyed this video, go and drop a like on the video right now. Go ahead and sub and turn on post notifications on. So the formation I am talking about is going to be this gun empty Steeler, and of course, you guessed it is in the Steelers playbook. So without further ado, let's go in and dive right into this. So as far as personnel, what I highly suggest you do is actually have a really great tight end right here. I mean, it's not necessary. It's just this offense works really well if you have a good tight end, and you'll see why here in a little bit. But that's really it. I mean, you just you're gonna have obviously your three best receivers on the field, obviously, and also right here, you want a running back who's your fastest running back. I would say is the best. Now, if you have somebody like Raheem Mostert type, Dalvin Cook type, or especially Kamara would be perfect. So any type of receiving back is perfect for this offense. So I have Rashad Penny here, who's 90 speed, so he's going to do just fine. Now, the play that we're going to be talking about, the only play I'm going to be talking about today's video is going to be Steelers cross. So yeah, I really love this play, man. There's going to be a lot of setups I give you guys. So please make sure you are locked in. Hopefully we'll make this a quick video because it's a really fun offense to run. A lot of times I like to kind of mess around with it just because of just all of, unique things you can do. There's a lot of misdirection, a lot of where you can manipulate and choose who you want to pick on basically on the defense. So without further ado, let's go and dive right into this, man. So for the first thing that I'll say is I like to either run this offense where I don't motion anybody, or I like to utilize a lot of motion. So first, I always start off by not motioning because I don't want to start giving my opponents tells on what I'm doing. So it all depends on if they're playing zone or man coverage. If they're playing a lot of zone coverage, then I love to utilize my motions. But if they're playing man coverage, it's basically the same, but let me just get into it anyway. So for the base setup, what I like to do is take my tight end right here and throw him on a drag. Now that's literally it. This is my base setup. So let me just kind of show you why I love this as a base setup. So you're going to notice R1's going to get open, but also what happens is that we'll have X on a nice pass lead up the field. And basically what you're pretty much doing is having a two-way read that's always going to be open, because both of these crosser routes, if you guys don't know, both of these crosser routes actually will get over the top of every single zone in the game. You see right here, we could have easily got over this. You see how we have this right here. The only reason this cornerback stopped running is just because the ball was thrown at that point, you could tell. But what you can tell is that we have an easy dot on the sideline. So the user will have to use it, they'll have to use it somewhere basically. And this offensive play, literally this one play is going to force your opponent to have the zone drop, because why? We're going to have either this read open or we're going to have this read. All depends on what the user does. And now 9 times out of 10, this will be a read. So that's why I said I love this play to start off with, because it allows me to see what my opponent is running on defense. Because almost 10 out of 10. It all depends on what you do in the pocket, how much time you have, but this will always be your first read, because normally this is what's always going to be open. But I'll show you gets other cover shells and everything. And also, if they don't cover that, you throw that. Just like if they chose that way, you had enough time, then we can hit that way. So that's why I said this is just a base setup for me. And don't worry, I'm getting into some other setups and everything like that. I got y'all, man. So throw R1 on the drag, because I want to show you that both of these setups are really good. Hopefully I get time in the pocket. It's definitely not guaranteed. You can tell right there I didn't. But I'm gonna quickly go into replay just in case you didn't see exactly what all got open. And yeah, this is why I normally spot people, just so I don't have to sit here and do this. But anyways, what I was trying to tell you guys is that this drag is going to get open, because the reason that this is a good base concept is because whether it's a hook curl or vertical hook, no matter which two zones they use, they are going to all respect these cross routes. So they're going to be forced to back up to cover these little quick windows, because if they didn't do that, then you'll be able to throw this ball like right off the break basically. So they have to carry this route basically. That's what cover two, that's what the vertical hook do. They carry the routes. So that's why this drag, no matter what, is going to get wild. You can tell we could have threw this right now, and that's when you want to throw it, and then you want to take a yard, turn upfield. So you can literally just abuse this and force your opponent to have to use this. And when you start having your opponent worried about going down low, that's when we're actually going to be able to hit them over the top. So again, that's just one of my favorite base setups. Now, to get this video moving along a little further, without any motions, keep in mind, if you don't want to motion, which I recommend you do, don't motion unless they start forcing you to have to, and I'll get into when you want to start motioning in here in a little bit. But for my second base setup, what I like to do is, it depends on what side I want to attack. So normally how I judge it is if I'll just move it over here real quick. So let's just pretend the ball's on the left hash, right? So normally you'd want to attack the field. So where's the field at, real? It's all this open space out here, because it's going to allow that crosser to get a little bit more wide open. So what you can do if you want to attack the field, I would say take R1. You don't want to put him on an in route. You take square, put him on a zig route, and this is exactly how you do this. So basically, this is a two-sided read. So I'm just gonna snap the ball so you can see it. So R1, he's gonna do a great job of getting open. If I could just get a little bit of time, that'd be great. I'm gonna start spying people because y'all can tell I literally have garbage people in there, and they're still just getting hollered at. But anyways, these guys seen the gist of this anyway. So basically, what's gonna happen against cover 3 or cover 2? This throw right here is always going to be open. You're always going to have this. So if the user is not using that right here, you could literally just, snap the ball, boom, throw that right there. You could literally just do that every time. And also what's cool about this play too is that against cover 3 and cover 2, it also gets open on this side. So as you can see, we have this window that's open, and we also have this window that's open as well. And it's going to be that way against cover 2 as well. So let me show you cover 2. I'm actually going to spot some people just so I can have a little bit of time, so you guys can see the routes develop. So for that setup, again, you just take square, put them on a zig route. You take your tight end, put them on an in route, and then you can go ahead and just snap the ball. Like I said, you can tell R1, you want to wait against cover 2, and you'll have that right there is what I was trying to explain to you. And that's literally 6, 7, 8 yards, between 6 to 8 yards before you get contact, depending on what kind of, animation EA gives you and all that stuff. So don't be afraid to throw that, man. You will really, really get aggravated if you keep taking that, because your opponent's not going to want to keep giving that up. And then what's going to happen is we're going to be able to have triangle over the top. So if they start zone dropping, this is not a good setup. And the reason why is because we actually don't have nothing targeting the flats on the right side. But if they aren't zone dropping, then you can still throw that over a cloud easily. And that's G. Alexander. You see him lighting up, but it doesn't matter. They won't be able to click on that. So literally, they're going to have to play like a double Mabel style coverage if they even want to deal with that. And I may do a part 2 to talk about what to do against double Mabel, because it's really simple if you guys don't know, but I would rather save it for, like a part 2 if I decide to do a part 2 in this formation. So anyways, let's kind of move the ball back in the middle, or let's just say this side, right? So you understand the right side. So you're like, well, okay, what if I don't want a motion, but I'm on the right hash mark, So basically, if we're on the right hash mark, you want to attack this left side of the field. Now, don't be afraid to mix it up. Don't be afraid. So what do I mean by mix it up, bro? So you can definitely still run it this way if you want to. And now the main read would be our streak to crosser combo. So this triangle to circle, the crosser. We're going to basically read the right side, basically. So it's the same play that I just gave you. I'm just want you to understand that you don't have to be scared, to run the play to the short side. That's what's really good about this offense, because you can play it to the field or you can play it to the short side. Now, if you want to actually make a read on this side, you want to keep the streak route. Why, Real? Because the streak route is going to allow X to get open, because it's going to push back any deep zones. So from here, what you do is actually take R1, and you want to just throw him on an in route. And normally, I would actually run it just like this. That's if I actually didn't want a motion, but if this way, you probably better just put R1 on the drag. So yeah, just do it that way with those two setups. So I don't want to touch on that. So anyway, let me go ahead and reset the play. So when you start getting into motions, right? So the thing you can do is actually take, well, it depends on what side you want to read. So we're actually going to target this 2 receiver side over here. So what we're going to do is take circle, put them on a zig route. We're going to take R1, put them on a slant. And then you guessed it, we're going to go ahead and take them and motion them across. So this is how I like to start utilizing my motions. And actually I messed that setup up. You want to take triangle and I'll actually put him on a zig route too, because what that's going to do is pull down that zone on the left side, because we are reading that left side. So let me show you that again. You want to take triangle, put him on a zig, and you want to take R1, put him on a slant. Now you can either motion him over and run it like this with the streak combo, or you can take circle, put him on a zig route. It's literally up to you on that point. But this is basically the base setup that you want to use. Now R1 is going to do a great job of getting open in that gap. You can tell. Now I'm gonna step up and kind of come here, and then I'm gonna deliver that dot. And you can tell it's basically just a double-sided read. So that's what makes this offense really good, because you can read both sides of the field easily, So let me go to cover 2, show you guys a little cover 2. And don't worry, I got man coverage. Even though that right there is a man coverage setup, but I'll show you what that looks like against man here in a second. But for that one, you want to take triangle, put them on a zig, take R1, put them on a slant, and then go ahead and motion them across. And this will absolutely destroy cover 2 as well. It's just literally the same as that combo. You just want to come over here, drift out, and then you'll be able to hit X over there. Now, fortunately, the backside slant does not get open, because that doesn't get open versus vertical hooks. You would actually just want to run the other setup I gave you if they were standing cover 2. That's more of a man coverage setup if you guys want me to be real. And now, last zone coverage I want to give you before I actually go into man coverage is basically what you want to do is actually just take R1 right here. You want to put him on a zig route. You want to take circle right here. You want to put him on an in route. Small route is in route. And normally, either A, I would run it like this, or B, I'd take R1, put them on a drag. Now, if they are not zone dropping, then I would actually leave it like this. But if they are zone dropping, I would put them on a drag. Now, the reason why, because if they are zone dropping, then that means R1 is going to get open in a flats, because that means that this cornerback, if they're in cover 2, or this player right here, they're going to have to be all the way backed up, if you can picture that. So anyways, this is one of my favorite setups right here, is simply just because what's going to happen. Jesus Christ, look at that. Anyways, basically what's going to happen is the user's going to have to decide who he wants to cover, you know? And so you're basically forcing the user to say, okay, do I want to follow this crosser, this crosser? Okay, I'm going to follow this crosser. And when they're following this crosser, if they're on one of the hook curls, then they're going to give up this dot right here, right? So now, if they have an athlete right here, normally they don't let you pick it off unless you try to lowball it. So don't do that. Normally, if you just pass it regular, they're going to regularly throw it over his head. Now, sometimes they can't animate, you know, if they have maybe lurker or something, you know, just be careful of that. But if somebody's putting a lurker in a spy, you know, like, they're really crazy in my opinion. Which, I mean, it's okay, Strat. But anyways, that's not the point of this video. So anyway, I'm trying to say, you just have a two-sided read still, and then basically you have the user worrying about this backside in route. And of course, you can actually run this the other way and flip-flop it the other way. So how you do that is take square, put them on in route. Smart route is in route. And from here, you can take R1, put them on a drag. And this is another setup I like. And you just go ahead and motion them across. It's literally the same exact play, but now we're just running it to the other side. Now, don't worry, I do have one more setup for you guys, as you can tell, triangle. And it doesn't matter if it's cover 3, cover 2, cover 4. They're all going to do the same thing. And the way these concepts work, if they zone drop, you're literally just making a read at that point, because you're going to have an open space. Now, last thing that I will give you that I do like is taking R1, putting them on a hitch. And then from here, you want to take square, put them on an in route. Smart route is in route. And then you want to take X. I like to put them on a zig route. And then we're going to go ahead and take him and motion him across. Now, I know it looks the same, but on this setup, you're really going to be looking at that hitch, because that hitch is what's going to get open versus hook zones. Any hook curls, you're going to have that set up. And make sure you guys are locked in. Make sure you are soaking in these setups. Even hop in practice mode with me and kind of doing with me, and kind of get used to all these different setups. I promise you, once you take these setups into game, you're really going to feast. But I do want to show you against cover 2 what this looks like. So you want to take square, put them on in route. Smart route is in route, just like this. You want to take R1, put them on a hitch, and then you want to take X, put them on a zig route. Now, with this hitch route against cover 2 or any vertical hook, what you're going to realize is that the vertical hooks are going to play it like right now. So you see how he comes down. So what you want to do is wait for that corner to drop off, and then you want to deliver that dot right there if you recognize it's cover 2. Now, if there's zone drop cover 2, then the vertical hooks might not play as aggressively. I'm not sure. I don't really feel like going over it on this video. Because the concepts are going to be the same. You always want to start off by reading this hitch. Is it open? No. Okay, it's not open. Now you want to see what the user is doing. Is the user following my crosser route? Yes or no? If your user is following your crosser route, you want to look for this backside in route. You want to wait for the cornerback to leave this responsibility. Now, if he's in a soft squat, he'll probably run with him, and that's a different, you wouldn't want to run this concept they have a soft squat. But anyways, if they play like a cloud or a hard flat, this throw will be open right here. Now, if for some reason that's not open, for whatever reason, then you'd want to buy a little time and just play making him like inside, or just, hit him if he's wide open. So that's exactly how you want to do that. So last coverage, that's the best for last, is against man coverage, because this is what you'll see most of the time. Now, it all depends on what style of man they're playing. If they're playing this style of man where they're shading inside and underneath, basically what you want to do is, you could technically run this the same way, but what I would suggest you do is actually take one of your receivers, like Circle, for example. I would put him on a slant, and then I would actually come and motion him a backside. So I wouldn't actually use a tight end, because unless you have a really good tight end, that's the only way I would advise that. And basically right here, you have a double-sided read. Circle's going to get open. Now, triangle, it all depends on who you have. Like, obviously, that's a running back on a cornerback, and you never really want to have that option. So that's why normally, if they're playing heavy man, I don't like triangle on that crosser route, unless you just have like a Raheem Mostert, or, you just have a really good matchup. Because normally, if they're letting press animations happen, you're going to get bagged. So I like to kind of switch up what he's doing. So basically, how I do this, if they're playing a lot of man, I'll probably take triangle, put them on in route. Smart route is in route. I take R1, put them on a drag, and I would actually run it just like this. Now you might be saying, "Real, why is that?" So the reason why is because if they're pressing and they don't have like safeties over the top, like let's say they were playing like this kind of coverage, then we have 2 chances to win on man. So we have this route on square, which is a streak, and we have this route on circle, which is a little different streak until this one fades harder to the sideline. So, sometimes it could be a little glitchy. So you're going to be your first readers on the outside. But if you notice they're playing too high safety, then this is good, because you want to look for this crosser route or this in route, Now, if you're worried about your running back, let's say you just got a garbage running back, right? He's just terrible. So what I would do in that case is I actually would take triangle. I would put him on a zig route. I take R1, put him on an in route, or out route, excuse me. And I would smart route his out route, and then I would actually take him in motion on a cross. So if you have a good tight end, then this is what I would do, because in routes are going to beat man coverage every single time. Now, normally what's going to happen too is, like, if they have man aligned, normally this slot corner would follow, or if they have a defense like this, then I guess they'll just cross man it like that. That definitely can happen too. Either way, that's really good for us. So if you have a great tight end, use this setup. If you have a garbage tight end and a good running back, then use the setup I just gave you. So anyways, I want to show you why I like this setup, of course. So basically, in routes are going to be able to beat man coverage. You see R1 is open. I threw X late on purpose just to show you that, you know, both of them are designed to beat man coverage. So what your opponent's going to have to start doing is what? Your opponent's going to have to start saying, okay, well, if he wants to do that, then I'm just going to play this style of defense right here where I zone drop and all that. Now, there are a couple things you can do against this, right? So what I would do, to be honest with you guys, is I would probably take triangle. I'll probably put him on a curl. I would take R1, put him on in route, smart right, in route, just like this. And I would actually just motion this guy across. Now, it's the same setup, but basically with this setup, you'd want to be looking for triangle. Normally, triangle is going to do a great job. Well, you actually want to wait a little bit, actually. And I should have shaded over the top to show you guys why, but I'll talk about it in the replay. So, of course, I go to a new play. But anyways, what I was trying to explain to you guys before my controller decided to wig out is that you basically just want to try to put curl routes on the field wherever you can, because curl routes are going to do great against man coverage. So I do want to go ahead and show you that, what I was talking about here real quick. So let's put them on a double purple, shade over the top. Now, if you don't want to motion nobody, what I would suggest is just you take triangle, put them on a curl, take R1, put them on a curl, and then you want to take circle, put them on an out route, smart route is out route, just like this. Now you might be saying, well, why would I smart route is out route? Because if they have a purple, what's going to happen is it's going to widen out more to that out route, so it won't be sitting on top of your curl. So basically, this is how I would read it. Now, what you're expecting is X not to be open, right? Because why they're playing a purple on that side. So we're already expecting X to be covered. So this is just a dummy route. So your two reads are going to be between R1 and triangle, basically. So let me make sure I do shade over the top. And then we're going to go ahead and snap the ball right here. And it's just whatever side you want. So I just want to show you that R1 does get open. So that's how you want to play that game. And I'm going to go and replay really quick and then talk about what the user will be doing. And that'll be the video. So I'm sorry these videos are kind of long. I hope you guys actually like it, because, you know, I want to go more in depth with you guys so you guys can really just understand the core of what's going on this game. But anyways, when your opponent shades over the top, which they will, because if you notice that the safeties are bailing, so kind of look up top, right? So you see how the safeties are bailing out. If you notice that, and you notice that a press animation is happening out here, like an actual press animation, go ahead and take your shot. Honestly, take your shot. So when they start shading over the top, by programming, when you run a curl route, they're going to be in front of him. Why? Because they're over the top of him. Now, what you're expecting is to be able to hit this route right here every single time. You're expecting to hit that literally every single time. Now, why is that real? Because anytime your user sees this crosser action, especially with this curl, they're going to be attracted this way first. No user is going to see this going on and then just want to shoot over here, unless you've just been, you know, hitting it every single play, every single play, every single play. But yeah, this is a setup that I really, really love right here versus double purples, since this playbook doesn't have many over-the-top beaters. So anyways, that's going to wrap it up for this video, though. Do let me know if you have any questions, any concerns, or anything like that, and I will definitely answer them in the comments. But anyways, hope you guys have a blessed day. I'm Rage Real, and I'm out.